Moving on to checkmark 11, we will be working with debugging. When I click on play, you can see that there's a bug in the code, but the bug is not a syntax error. It's an error in how it's written and where I want my sprite to go. So it's a little bit more of a logic error. So on here where it says the sprite go to, I need to look at the proper X position and the proper Y position in terms of where I would like my sprite to end up. When I go ahead and make those changes, I click play again and then click on the blue button to submit work for 11 and then move on to 12. On step 12, we are supposed to drag out an action block that says set speed. So I'm going to click on action and pull out the set speed up to the bottom of the program, which will go on line 11. And that tells us how fast the sprite can move. So I would click on play to preview that and then blue to submit. Moving on to step 13, I have another action to add, and that is the glide to action. For the glide to action, they want it to move from the first sprite over to the second sprite. Our first sprite was programmed up here, so now for the second sprite position, you look at your X coordinate and your Y coordinate. Make the change in the glide to command line, line 12. Click play to run the program. And if it says great job, go ahead and click on blue to submit. Moving on to step 14. This is another error that is a logic error or a bug that is caused by an error in human thinking. So for this example, I need to go ahead and change the Y coordinate, but then I also need to change the X coordinate to read -50. Go ahead and click on run, and it places the boy on top of the bike, and I can click blue for submit. Moving on to number 15, we need to go ahead and pick up the third Codester sprite. So last time we did a glide to 150, -100. Now we're going to go ahead and add in another glide to under the actions. So click on actions and pull over your glide to block for line 13 of the code. Look at the position of the last Codester and enter it into the code below. Go ahead, click play. Make sure the code works properly. This is called testing your code, and then blue for submit. Moving on to number 16, we have another glide to command that we would like to add again. So if I click play, it'll give me a nice preview of where the next sprite is. So I'm going to pull in under actions another glide to block. And on line 13, I'm going to change that position then for the XY coordinate. And then I will go ahead and click on run. There is play. If the code works successfully, then I'll click on blue for submit. Moving on to number 17, I'm going to click play to see my screen again and go to actions and pull in another glide to block. And again, look at the XY coordinate. Click the green play button to test, and the blue button to submit. Moving on to step 18, we're going to return the spaceship to Mars. And so that would be at -200, -200. So we need to go to Actions and add another Glide to block with the proper coordinates. When you've entered the coordinates, you can go ahead and click the green play button and the blue button to submit. Moving on to step 19, we are going to make the spaceship rotate in a circle. So under Actions, we're looking for the Turn Left action block, and we are going to change that to 360 degrees. Again, we'll click green for play. And at the very end of the code, when it reads line 17, we should see that spaceship rotate, and then blue to submit. Step 20 is an exit ticket. So you will need to go ahead and click on your answers, like for -50, 100, what is the coordinate pair? And you'll go ahead and click on the correct answer for those, and then do the blue button to submit your work. For this last step, you will be customizing your game with changing the background to be one of the other available background images listed below. Remember, you can go ahead and just type in the change, or you could go ahead and drag the block over. Either one is just fine. Also in Actions, there's something called Set Color. So either before or after your pen goes down, you can click on Actions and look for that Set Color block and change the color of your pen so that it looks a little bit different on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and run this. It does want me to change the color in the set color, so I'm going to make that red and play again. And then click on blue to submit. Hey, that is it for this week. If you would like to work ahead, next week is working on item number 22, where you create your monogram with any background you like. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and have a great week.